What up, guys? Welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the Geoff Fienberg Show here on FTNDaily.com, presented by Prize Picks. Thank you, everyone, for stopping in tonight. Exciting times. It's March, finally, right? March. Wow. A year ago, I was in Florida golfing and watching professional golf, and it's weird how we're a year into everything. I don't care. A lot of people talk about that. Great to see the PGA Tour in the full swing in Florida. I believe more galleries this week, so that's exciting. Bay Hill, Sky will be dropping in a couple minutes time. I'll go over my betting card with him. I'm trying to tell my cards. What I got four main bets that I'm pretty invested in, and I made 4 bombs, and I'll go over those in a few minutes. There's no secret. Those are out there. And I also made a I'll talk about it all with Sky in a few minutes. In a few minutes time. That's about it. NFL going to be exciting. All the coaches are talking about an Armageddon of cuts, so to say, as no one has an idea what the salary cap is. I'll quickly say it's quite remarkable that the Cowboys and Dak Prescott have now been negotiating for what, 2 years? 2 years. 2 years. It feels like Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott have been trying to negotiate a long-term deal. Both sides always seem to say that they're close, but they never get a deal done. Now, here's the sticky part. Dak wants more money, right? That makes sense. The problem is the Cowboys are like, no, we don't want to pay you like that. And Dak's camp is, whoa, well, listen, like 2 years ago, we offered you a contract that like this wouldn't be an issue right now, and Dak would probably be underpaid, and you guys forbid to want to offer it. So we're still here. And it's only weird because since any of us, I mean, I don't know who the oldest person watching is, but, all of us have been watching football. Anytime the Cowboys had a premium player, I mean, you could debate where you want to put Dak, but Evers, I made a big mistake in my show with Pat that's coming out tomorrow. I out of sight, out of mind for Dak, and I'll admit my mistake there. But he is a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League, and he's a star in many regards. And it's weird that Jerry Jones isn't signing that star. No pun intended with the Cowboys. So that's all weird to me. But we're about a week away from D-Day on that front. And I don't know, 2 years into a negotiation with one player. They still can't get a deal done. They always claim to be close. Incredibly fascinating. I don't think you guys care about my football thoughts, though. So you're here to see me talk some golf on a Wednesday night. Final thoughts. I've set it off and pump your questions into the chat. I'm going to go over them, rifle through all of them. I promise tonight I will rifle through all your questions in the chats with Sky. DraftKings betting, whatever floats your boat, we'll be breaking down. Prize Picks, prizepicks.com, promo code FTN, 100% instant match bonus up to $100. It's you versus the projection over at prizepicks.com. No mass multi entries. It's not you versus those DFS sharks. It's just you versus the projection. Multi-sport tickets. I love to do those, but for tomorrow, I have a 2-man power play to get me going for Bay Hill this week. I'm looking at all the Prize Picks golf odds up right now, guys. And I'm going to break something down with you in just a moment, but I've decided to play Paul Casey under his first round score of 70.5. And with that comes an over the total of Justin Rose's 70.5 this week. So under on Casey. Casey coming into Florida in pretty strong form with that win in the Middle East. He has acknowledged that how great he does feel. Starting the season in form takes a lot of weight off his shoulders, and trying to find your form through a stretch of difficult golf. Justin Rose, Quality finish in the Middle East actually a couple of weeks ago. He seems to be incredibly hit or miss. His driving, I want to say, totally lost. That could be a big problem here for him at Bay Hill, but he gets going early in the morning. 8:17 is his tee time. Casey not till afternoon. 12, just after 12. Interesting Prize Picks golf scoring and options though, guys. I mean, Rory's the lowest score to pick an over under on at 69.5. But then there's a consortium of players at 70 and 70.5. And how do you put this? I mean, a lot of these players should not have identical projection scores. Like, just as an example, I would argue that Sung J M and Jordan Spieth should not have identical projection scores. That would just be an opinion of mine. I would argue that, Justin Rose and Paul Casey shouldn't have the same projection scores of 70.5. So you could make a case there are some soft numbers that might be worth taking advantage of over at prizepicks.com. Use that promo code FTN for your instant match bonus. But that's just my case. That's just what I am looking at over at Prize Picks. But they've got 12 golfers you can go over or under the total on their projections for tomorrow. Anyhow, Bay Hill Club and Lodge, I'm expecting a really exciting weekend of golf. Sort of like last week in many regards, except it's a bigger, weaker field. And I think the leaderboard will present a lot of volatility throughout the course of the tournament. Most golfers probably would have relented at some point last week. Morikawa was just too good. But I expect we'll see something like a Cameron Smith type getting up there early and, hey, putting something in the water and boom, will go his dynamite. It's almost, how do you put this? I mean, history has kind of shown that it's a Sunday heater kind of golf course. You don't want to go out in those final groups on Sunday. History has shown the course to be very kind to Europeans, internationals in particular, not so much Europeans. I'm curious if Sky thinks that's a coincidence or he actually sees a trend in how this course plays based on a lot of that European stuff. I said that like it was so beneath. I didn't mean it like that. one bit. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of these Florida courses do seem to suit internationals. I don't think there's any secret about that one bit. And my betting card is essentially fully expecting that to continue. So I shouldn't waste any more time, guys. Pump your questions because Skylar is smarter than me. I'm sure you'd rather ask him something than I, and I'm going to bring him in right now. I'll ask him my own questions and then we'll rifle off some of yours. Sky, what's the good word, my man? Happy to have you join me this evening.
Yeah, Jeff. No, this is always a treat to get to talk with you. Your hair looks spectacular this evening.
Does it? It's kind of, I almost like put the hood up. I'm sure Rob probably saw in the pregame. I was like, no, in his head, it's like, Fienberg, you better take that hood off. He didn't say anything.
Yeah, man. He's got a flow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of wild. Like a lot of people, listen, I did get like some quarantine cuts. I broke some rules to get a haircut. At least like where I live, it was pretty hardcore lockdown. Like I wasn't doing a master show without a fresh haircut. In many ways, I don't want to get into it, but people were giving like the Kansas City Chiefs, well, they deserve a hard time for other reasons, but them a hard time for like that whole haircut scare.
For sure.
I was like, nah, like you can't.
It's important.
It's important. Like those guys, the world is watching. Like if they don't feel good about it, then I mean, maybe they actually should have felt whatever. We don't need to relitigate the Super Bowl. But Sky, will start right away. Before I ask you what has you so high on Cameron Percy, I'm going to say, do you think it's a coincidence or there is meat to the international bones that do rise to the occasions here, specifically at Bay Hill? But if you want to talk to a greater picture of Florida, then by all means.
I guess if you zoomed it out to the course, I guess it's a little bit longer than what you would probably see a prototypical type European Tour course where these guys excel on, but I think the fairways are more of a premium here than they are on a average PGA Tour week. If it's going to get difficult, especially what we saw last year, what we could see on Sunday, I think those type of styles of games, why Hatton was able to play so well last year, why Fitzy is so popular this week. I think it makes sense for the setup, and more here than pretty much, I think, any of the other Florida events. I think that kind of fits the mold last week where it was ball strikers paradise, around the green. If you missed by an inch, you were back to your feet. And we saw the bottom of the leaderboard of the WGC just loaded with my European Tour favorites, which was, not the best thing to see. But I think this week, a lot of them can bounce back, not even just the top of the board. I'm ready to see second chances for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt my betting card is littered with European golfers. Even the guys I didn't pick are also, or that I thought about picking, were other European Ryder Cup golfer. So, I mean, I'll just quickly rifle through it. No, you wouldn't, not that you would ever make a bet under 20-1, I don't think, but if there was something there that you were to bet on.
I did this week.
So let's hear it then.
I'm on Hatton.
Okay, let's go. Yeah. As am I.
Yep.
I don't think we need to spend much time talking about it. Everything has kind of been said. There's no stranger to anything. Okay. Yep. Hatton, let's
it just makes so much sense. Let's run it back.
And hey, we missed that. Was it the schedule? We didn't realize.
How did we not get it?
That we put this in the Honda spot with that schedule, liking the Sungjae M30, but really I think we dropped the ball by not realizing this was the schedule spot potentially. And even when we were recording that preview show, Hatton was still winning golf tournaments.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know how we didn't jump. That's tough looking back. I mean, it seemed like almost, when it wasn't like an absolute long shot, it seemed like most weeks that was actually decent value compared to what the odds were. I mean, Cam Smith, Sungjae, JT, like all of them are going to be some pretty good value. Maybe we should have hopped on board. We'll put it in the notes for next year.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they
we'll probably do the same thing,
if they catch on. No, but I think the schedule flip of Florida was something we certainly were not that sort of just totally bypassed me. And I blindly give Bay Hill so much field respect just because, but I don't know. You get the feeling history is going to be less kind to this field. And I don't want to say this, but it seems like once some of these legends sort of pass, and I mean, the only example I have to go by is like the Byron Nelson, but you almost look at what's happened to that event since he died.
Yeah.
Long ago, but not all that long ago.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, Rory's going to show up. I'm excited for Bryson to take it on. I really think, I couldn't pull the trigger at the 12-13s that were out there, but it just feels, and more on DraftKings, I think he's going to be really, really low owned. And when
he was second place to Hatton. I bet Bryson at those last two events, 20-1 at a WGC at Riviera.
But the point that got me was what you made on Monday on Pat's show, saying the dip that Hatton took relative to the rest of the market just didn't make any sense.
Yes, because I almost bet, and I almost bet Hatton last week. Mm-hmm. I was really close to making that bet. In the end, my money went to like Bryson at 20-1, and then saw Hatton at essentially the same number and decided, okay, let's fire. Mm-hmm. In many respects, it was sort of like Berger and Phoenix. And then we went to Pebble and I was able to get the same number without those superstars at Pebble. And I was like, okay, this makes perfect sense for DB. Moving on. So that's a pretty low bet for you. I have back padded my Hatton bet with Fitzpatrick for many of the reasons that have been thoroughly discussed this week. I don't know that I need to get into it anymore. But what range does your next bet come in? I suspect pretty high.
So we're going to be in the 40s. We're pushing the chips in together. I think we're aligned on this one too.
Oh,
You're,
this is
you're back on
everybody. Yeah,
Burns. I
this
mean,
is
you have to. It's a community
the
like.
community bet that's
Yep.
gonna. I mean, we're gonna get squares galore here.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
worried. I'm
He's
worried.
off at 7 a.m. We're gonna roll out of bed and it's 3 over through 2, and it's like a
Yeah,
water ball to
good
the next
job.
one.
And then the people who will be taking victory laps for fading the groupthink.
Yep.
Like they'll be like, "Oh, I'm Cal, you 28%, you're out of here.
Yep.
Go home, losers." Yeah, like I said, but we do that show Monday morning. I mean, we said like we get why everyone would like it.
Yep.
But I'm not like in a position to catch up on where groupthink is when I am making that bet on Monday. And even with groupthink, I'll take my chances, even though I've been making fun of myself for betting it. I don't care.
No.
Yeah, give me Sam.
It just feels everything's led up to his type of game he showed through the West Coast swing, where I didn't even, the numbers we had, but big boy courses like we talked about, but now on some POA. And then now he gets back to Bermuda. I mean, Bermuda burns. Like, this is the coming out party. This is, where we fell in love in Florida with him. So it makes too much sense. And like, Homa did, he won when people weren't willing to bite that number. It just seems I don't want to miss out on that with Sam. So it's automatic in my opinion right now.
Yeah, I do see the questions. I'm going to get to all of them. I just want to get Sky's opinion as I give him the rest of my card. Besides Sam, to round up my main card, Hatton, Fitz, Burns, and Fleetwood. I bet Tommy.
You always bet. It's back.
I bet Tommy a lot, but Bay Hill, he has put the ball striking out here more so than
it was good last week. It was really good.
It was there.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not calling him Morikawa. He is not, but there's a very ball striking to losing 6 strokes putting. And I would say, Morikawa is just amazing, but I don't know, Florida, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but has Tommy not had the lead in every single one of these Florida tracks over the last 2 years, at least once?
So I can vividly remember the eagle he made, but I feel like it was at Honda. It might have been even the year you guys were there.
He led here early.
For sure.
Led at Honda
and he's
multiple
led at
the players like overnight. Yep. He has slept on a lead, I want to say, at all of these tracks. I don't need to get into it with the weekend jokes. The weekend thing even has plagued him in Europe in the last year, though, which is weird too. Yep. That used to be like a PGA thing. He was getting himself into weekend contention a lot, at least and through the Middle East, and he would have that typical just blow up round, which is weird, but smooth. This is where Tommy's is smoothest
for sure
guy.
Yep.
And when it blows up this week, I'll be back at 85 at the Players. So.
For sure. Absolutely.
I saw Ben Coley was on it. That makes me feel like more justified.
For sure.
Yes, I'm taking it because I am biased towards him. So it does feel nice seeing people who would never make a bet based on like a personal bias.
Yep.
Get on to the player.
Oh, a Coley bump is always nice to see. Absolutely agree.
Okay, so now my next bets are in the 100 to 1.
And I think we're very deep with a lot of our cards this week. I think you made 3 more down there. I have 4 now that we get to into the hundreds. I feel like one's kind of a donation with your fellow Canadian Corey Connors. It just the tee to green game that just ends up being so prolific at a course that we're saying it's going to test it.
You're betting Norlander.
I'm betting Norlander. Absolutely.
So you're betting, that's essentially making 2 bets on the same guy.
Yes.
You're betting the same guy twice as like Joseph Pat. He's like Swedish. There's like Canadian Norlander. Like they're the same. Good, Pat. I mean, you and Pat would look into the numbers deeper. Yep. He actually lets me know that Norlander is a much better putter than Connors?
Well, when it comes to Bermuda, he was bad putting on the West Coast. I mean, nothing kills. There's nothing worse when you settle in for golf coverage when you have a golfer in contention and the first hole you see of them is a bogey or something that's just a terrible mistake. And I was on Norlander at Pebble when he missed that 14-inch putt to start off the day on hole 1, and it just ruins the experience. It's just like,
it ruins the experience. That being said, I don't want to deep dive this too much. Sometimes when those real good players make a bogey on one, like it could be my perception, but it has led to plenty in Fuego. So Norlander.
Well, the original one I think I remember was like a lesser tier guy in a late group bogeying early. It's like, oh, maybe I'm out of like. Remember when I'm sorry to bring it up with DJ, but I think the story you guys just talked about was Ted Potter bogeyed the first hole at Pebble, and it was like, okay, pressure's off. And then, but yeah, I can kind of see it in that way.
I think Ted got a tee off without pressure that day, if you want,
for sure.
My opinion. So Norlander, Connors, and Piercy, those are your bombs, right?
And then Neesmith's the other one. It just feels, again, if we're just a slave to the numbers.
Listen, I like it. I didn't bet it. He is for a guy over 100 to 1. He's pretty popular this week.
And he's like 6,900 on DraftKings too.
He's going to be loaded.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels too good to be true. But yeah, Percy led the field of Puerto Rico in greens and regulation last week, was top 5 in driving accuracy. So if you think somebody who just came off of, without strokes gain data, maybe the best ball striking week of the bunch, that is something you kind of read the tea leaves through and try to catch, while the iron's hot for him.
Okay. Interesting. I went with just the European stalwarts, man.
Mm-hmm. You're Wallace, right? For sure.
Yeah, Wallace, Poulter, Noren.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You back Noren a lot this year, but he's shown flashes.
He's been pretty good, man.
Yeah.
There have been a couple moments where it was like, whoa, nothing like into a back 9 on Sunday. We haven't gotten there. But he's played well. He played well in California. He's played well
12th at the Phoenix. Genesis. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, why not? Why not? Mm-hmm. I don't know. This place works, and there are, if you want to find certain comps, there are there with Noren from the BMW win.
Yeah, I liked that one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I like Noren. Poulter. I just had it in my head, Sky, since watching. I've said it like 5 times in the last 2 weeks. I watched that interview after a round in the Middle East, and he's like, he seems to think he's playing fantastic.
Yeah.
So
yep. He just said like the putter wouldn't come through, and then he putted a little bit better. It kept progressively, because he's right around the course, right? He lives in Orlando.
Yeah. He's home base, Orlando. So yeah, I don't know. That one worked for me.
So how do you think? Obviously, my bias when it comes to even the younger Euro guys. What are your thoughts on the chances of like a Perez and a McIntyre this week? I'm not betting them outright, but they're low 7s on DraftKings. Do you think they are up for these type of events? Because they have a swing coming up. They get this week, then they get the Players, then they get the Match Play, then they get the Masters. So they're going to have 5 tournaments.
I 100% think someone is live from that group. This course now, again, you'll probably be able to give me some exact names, but I feel like every year we come here, Skylar, and people's opinion of a certain European that you're probably already well aware of, like, does a bit of a 180. I want to say this is where Fleetwood like first busted out, like showed off his stuff. This is where Matt Wallace like had a T5. It was like, well, this is a nails kind of kid here that like I want to keep an eye on. That was Padraig Burt. Oh no, that was Honda. I'm thinking of there, but yeah. So I would have wouldn't be surprised at all to see one of those Europeans. I mean, winning. Winning's always a huge ask. But if we got a huge outlier win here, I wouldn't be totally shocked. It's the reason I am betting more 100-to-1s than like I ever do. I'd rather usually bet none of them and take two more bodies in like the 40 range, like a Jason Kokrak. But I don't know. I don't want to be there on Kokrak. I don't want to be there Molinari. I don't want to be there on Spieth. I'm sure there are other names that I'm forgetting.
Zalatoris, no. I mean, the thing is with
Kevin
those,
Na, I know you're like, I know he literally, I thought about it a bit there, but moved off. Okay, I'm gonna, give me your thoughts. I am gonna hit up the questions right now.
Yeah, no, I just think, before we move on from like McIntyre and Perez, even EVR, I mean, you think about what Hatton went through. These guys have the opportunity. I'm just, for both of them, this is their first time that they get a stretch of these consecutive events. And if they show out, they may never like have to realistically go back to the European tour for an extended period of time. They can make the leap that Wallace got to do for a year. He kind of faded, that Bjerregaard got to do after his really good performances, until he fell off the earth. Like what EVR has now come on to 4 good weeks out of these guys, and they are PGA Tour card holders.
Yeah, and there's always a good spot for them. Certainly. Blah, quickly. Chargers, who's my favorite potential free agent? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Like I'm always thinking about the Chargers, but I don't know who I want them to sign. I want them to improve the offensive line. And the player I want them to sign is probably not been cut yet. And that's going to happen in the next couple of days. Bombs. Yeah, bombs are due. Thank you, Mizzle Fries. Just heads up, Rob. Someone's saying the stream on the FTN site might not be working. JFJ Cuck. I don't want to read that name because I don't know what I just said. People don't even know he will be coming back from that terrible injury. I don't even know who we are talking about. Head-to-head best bet. So I've made a few head-to-head bets. I have bet. I bet Casey over. Was it Casey over Spieth?
That makes sense. They probably line up. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet Casey over Spieth. I bet Hatton over Victor. I saw that plus money there. I love Victor. Victor can win. Victor, like Mayo said, he's got that Rory vibe. Like wins might be touchdown wins. Like the weeks he plays perfectly, he's going to win by a touchdown. And you get the sense that there are perfect weeks in that young man.
Axis is on that same one, Hatton versus Victor with plus money that was available.
Yeah, you just, the ceiling on Victor. Sure, he's playing great. If I get blown out there, I'm not surprised. But Hatton, at the course he's won at, let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
It feels like it's peaking for Victor. I think back to our draft that we did, the season-long draft, that I think it went Victor and then either Wiley. I think Wiley followed up with Brooks right afterwards. I've compared their seasons back and forth all year and kind of kicked myself for not picking Brooks. But man, Vic just feels so close.
Yeah. I don't know what can you... What can you do? So those are the head-to-heads I like. I'm sure there are other ones.
Yeah, Axis always posts he's really, really into, the 72-hole matchups. Another example of one he's on is, let's see, Tommy versus Moldy is one of his bigger bets of the week. And that's like plus 100 for Tommy over him. And he's deep into the LPGA streets too. So you can find a slew of axes over on FTM bets for that. I haven't been as good head-to-head betting. I probably should. It makes sense with what you grind to. It just feels like, I don't know.
That's a whole other different discussion, Scott. Yep. Scott, I will say it is probably I'll probably screw this up. I like to bet the outrights. It's probably the least efficient and effective
for sure.
way to bet it. But I like to feel like I can hit a quota of winners and everyone's kind of happy and I get to do it. The hardcore, like the smart guys I know that like run deep models, like they barely even want to bet a head-to-head a tournament winner for entertainment.
For sure.
They can find huge edges in these head-to-heads.
Yep.
Not single days, but obviously in those full tourneys. So maybe I should give those more attention. Inc. TYC DK strategy this week, stars or scrubs. I'm always a stars or scrubs guy. Stars or scrubs guy because I'm a cocky SOB who thinks like I can figure out what to do down there. Like,
well, it makes more. Go ahead.
That's the fun. That's what I love about, like, I have the most fun in DraftKings in like cultivating and sort of doing the bottom feed hunting. Now, like most of you, how many times do we hit on our like $6,700 guy and we get let down with the one that we don't think we need to stress? So that happens to me far more, but more often than not, stars and scrubs is how I go, Inc.
And I think that to ink for that, it's a smaller field, so a higher percentage of guys are making the cut, which leads me to jam in more studs because you want the upside of what the best guys in the field possess, with the likelihood that there's going to be a better 6 of 6 chance this week than other weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. Guy's good at ABCs. I don't know. Did I miss a joke earlier?
Oh, it's probably behind me. I do these in my wife's classroom. So it's like got like teacher Brittany and all the classroom stuff.
There it is. Well, I don't know, guys. Keep firing your questions in. I'm gonna take one more and then just get back to talking to Sky. Okay, 2 more. Any love for Chris Kirk? Any top 20 bets? I'll just quickly say to the top 20s. It's the guys that I think that I'm betting at 100-1 would be my suggestions for top 20s. So like the Poulters, the Norins, Wallace, those would be the guys I would look to bet top 20 because I think they can win.
Yeah, I think same thing. Cameron Percy would be my favorite of the bomb bets, and that would be the best of top 20 odds. I think he's like 6-1. And then Chris Kirk, he's a bit interesting, good course history here. And he also won the Corn Ferry Tour event, which was at the Arnold Palmer Design course. When he came back and kind of made his triumph, he won there. So a little Arnie link for that, which, only adds to his history here. So it's a good price on DFS. Yeah.
I don't mind Kirk one bit. Where did List win in Florida on the Corn Ferry? Was that Sawgrass?
No, I think it was the Orange National. He won it. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Don't worry, I put you on the spot. Don't worry about that.
But no, I think it was named the Orange National, which he won, which would have been, let's see. No, you nailed it. It was at the other Sawgrass course. So I think there's 2 there because that was a Corn Ferry Challenge at TPC Sawgrass.
Let's remember. Yeah, I don't know. That's another guy. Last win. He's got some great results here. He's got some spectacular strokes gained, tee to green. Like, he seems to be a money player in these spots, but a win for him still feels like an enormous ask.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that when the conditions get difficult, that has been when he has shown up, and he's as live as anybody when some of these deeper fields. So I think that, so that was at the Dyes Valley course there, which I think is the other one, but because Zalatoris finished 6th in that event too. But yeah, I'm never going to disagree with List. I mean, I'm wondering if people are going back in on Si Woo, at a deeper number. That's a little bit too much for me to ask, a little scary, but List Si Woo combo, if you just, are firing off the weekly bets like Pat does, you don't go.
I don't know when he's good. Si Woo, when it's, I don't need to break that down. When it's on, it's on. When it's not, it's not. I've been doing the show with the door open here. My wife might, if I woke her up, she'll kill me. Okay, Ricky Fowler can't go this late into the show without bringing it up. Obviously, he got railroaded by Faldo, who today just tried to spin it as listen, I don't know, got to motivate the guy.
Yeah, it's
what it is. It's not Ricky's fault. People have real high expectations for him. I don't know. It's not real. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm frustrated.
For sure. I mean, I guess if you're taking something out of it, he finally putted well at the Genesis, right? I mean, that was the only reason he was able to finish top 20, because his approach game had fallen off after it had been so strong for, previous 3 tournaments. So he putted well for the first time in almost a year since, Waste Management the year before. So that was at least one positive. You can get him like plus 300 top 20, which feels weird. You can click next to him for Cameron Tringali on DraftKings, which I feel a little bit more comfortable with.
Crazy.
Aren't you guys, are
Crazy.
you in on, did you stay on Rose? Did you land on him still or no?
No, Mayo did. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it either.
I didn't want it.
But he's right there next to Ricky and DraftKings too, and it's just a weird bunch.
There was a narrative I was creating in my own head that I'd rather not be a part of.
Yeah, I know you're not Team Rose.
I don't care. I don't even, that whole thing with Justin. Let's be clear. It's all kind of gotten blown out of proportion, I think. And I like putting gasoline on it. I don't know. But I didn't want to bet him this week. The guy can't hit a fairway. He's going to just, even if he's going to, I don't think it's all just going to click for him. He's not Colin Morikawa.
Yeah.
It's not just going to, so we hit a few putts and we're going to contend. No. I don't think it's going to work like that. And even if he gets off to a decent start, I think it's just going to all disappear on him on 1 or 2 holes.
Yeah.
Now, he's not the only one. I would feel that about a lot of players. So I'm not just picking on Justin Rose. And I even joke, I've bet Ian Poulter, and he could be the 54-hole leader by 4 strokes. I would bet that he would put 2 balls in the water on Sunday.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is, but hey, I don't know. It's a big number for Rose. And even, is Jason Day being incredibly sneaky this week? Maybe even, I don't know about DraftKings, but in a one and done sort of scenario. Potentially.
I bet he's in the 1% in that scenario. I mean, he comes off a 7th and then an 18th, 33-1. This is kind of the range where you could go an unowned guy in one and done. If you have to make up I guess you're probably not in a spot where you have to make up ground yet, but you have to start separating yourself with how well some of these guys are playing. If you did the Mayo Challenge or that league they had created, I'm struggling in it. I've never been good at one and done.
I'm never good. On the show, I gave Hatton.
Yeah, that's who I picked too.
But I feel for the purposes of that pool, it's probably already time to pivot.
For sure.
Because I think Hatton will be incredibly popular.
Yeah. I've got a tough time not separating the 3. If I'm in on Hatton, I'm in on him betting. I'm going to pick him in one and done. And I like to play him in DraftKings. It's so difficult.
Gives me a hard time about that. No, if I'm going to say that guy's my one and done. If I'm going to have any DraftKings a bit different because obviously I'm rostering guys on DraftKings that I'm not betting.
Yep. Yeah.
You'd be betting. You can't. That's impossible.
For sure.
But yeah, for a one and done, I truly believe that guy can win. So he's got to be somewhere on my betting card, especially this early in the year where, we get to August and my betting card, how do I put it? I've used a lot more golfers that I want to bet on per se. But yeah, so I don't know. Jason Day, who we were talking about, Justin Rose.
Do you believe Molinari's back?
That was going to be my next point because I've seen a lot of people picking him to win, and I got nothing. I can't insult that at all. People I really have him on the card. Dave Tyndall has him on his card, and I saw Steve Bamford has him on his card, and those 2 guys are 2 of the best.
Yep.
In my opinion, I am not there. I am not there. I even like the head-to-head of the Fleetwood over of the Hollywood battle.
Yeah.
But if he does win or plays really well, where it's there's a moment on the weekend where it's oh man, he might win this thing. You can only blame yourself because, I mean, there aren't Sam Burns flashing lights pointing to this Molly win, but there are a lot of signs pointing to the fact that he could really come here and reignite himself. But how well he's been playing.
I was just checking to see if all the futures are gone on him. You know, if every major odds have now just plummeted for what it is. I actually haven't really made like any futures bets, maybe like one or two this year. Normally I load up the card. I'm trying not to, but
I'm the same as you.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's two reasons I found myself in that spot. One, the Masters was so late.
Yep.
Where like normally where that last major is, then I get like all of football season to potentially like have a good football Sunday, look at some majors. But like once I'm not looking past the Masters. Like,
for sure.
I didn't care to like as long as the Masters hadn't been played yet, I wasn't looking to bet the upcoming US Open. The other part about it is I'm so stubborn in my head that all these majors are just going to be contested between 15 guys, and I just haven't made my decision on it. So I don't want to rush. Like me and Pat were talking about it. Like we don't have Masters bets. So it's like, I just haven't decided which of those top 10 golfer which one of them I want to bet on yet. That's like really all it is. And there's no value in that range whatsoever. Even when like Brooks is dead, they wouldn't give you a number because they're not idiots. Like they know what's up. They know for these elite guys, it takes like just fixed, just a little confidence. Brooks goes from like, oh, I know he's so dramatic in his like how easy or how hard the game is, but there was a comment like that he made like, I didn't know I'd ever find it again. Like, whoa, like to think Brooks Koepka like went to bed one night, even one night in like that year thinking I might not get it back. Like that's fucked up. Cause like we all like knew, like, I don't know, like bet him, not bet him. Like I never had a doubt like this guy was gonna like just gonna click again.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not the majors when I've got other bets, but
And I pulled it up the conversation, just quick glance. Molinari has some 80s out there for like the Masters, you know, not to say I'm ready to pull, but it's just interesting. I was just curious if he had already taken that dip because now he's, you know, in almost an unbettable range for me without a breakthrough.
Question.
Yep.
Because I'm going to get you out of here before I just ask you who's going to win. Will Tiger be at the Masters?
What are we looking at? 6 weeks?
Will he want to be maybe wheelchaired around at that dinner? Will he want to be acknowledged, or will he be too even prideful if he like, I don't know, like maybe if he can't fully, like if he can't walk on his own, he doesn't want anyone to see him. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd lean the no probably, which is sad. Like, I mean, yeah, unless I guess I haven't really heard an update. I know since he got transferred to.
No, we haven't really gotten an update. There's been like a bit of a blackout period, like not like bad news, but it's just like, okay, now they're just, you know, you assume he's.
Yeah, I just assume it'd be a lot of physical.
Upper crust floor, you know, he's on that top end healthcare plan, getting everything he absolutely needs, you know, and sort of like the Kim Kardashian birthing suite of Cedar Sinai. But will he show himself? I mean, okay, let's assume he's like physically healthy enough to be like,
then I say yes. If he doesn't have to be wheeled around in a wheelchair, I would think he would be there for. I mean, I guess he's not given the green jacket, but
like with a cane.
Yeah, I don't know if he can be there that quick though. That's the thing. It's crazy how close the Masters is.
Yeah, that's the I asked that question and then it's like, whoa, we're already in March, so that means like.
That's 6 weeks. Less than that, actually, probably.
That's 6 weeks.
I mean, we got a heck of a stretch coming up.
I don't even know the timeline. I mean, not that any information has been released, but they haven't really given a timeline on when they expect him to like be back home even, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
hopefully, quick the last thing I really need to know or care is that, if he gets back to professional golf, you just want him to be in a healthy body state. And, you know, if he defies the
yeah, of
odds,
course.
it's
It's
just
all
like, it's all
yeah, I got
gravy.
my own.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in my head. I can make my own goals for him, but
Yep.
he's got to just
For sure.
first. You got to walk. You got to crawl to walk. You got to walk to
Yep.
jog. You got to jog to run,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll see. I guess the only question that like maybe like would he if he never plays on the PGA Tour again, would he like play on the Champions Tour just to win one, like just to like not go out?
I think you
I
just
don't
tease
know.
it up with Charlie every year at the PNC and
Well,
just
that's also
dominates.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's a thing. I don't. They probably allow a golf cart
Oh,
for
for
that.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
That's
sure.
enough.
That's weeds. But yeah.
That's
Mhm.
enough on that. In closing, I've like give me like the Ben Raza tweet.
Okay, so what? It's the winner. So I think it's too simple to go. I mean, we're pairing. It's Hatton and Burns are my 1-2 for the winner. Favorite play. I'm ready for McIntyre. I really think Robert McIntyre is off the tee, sets up incredibly well for this course. And I mean, he seemed to be positive coming out of the event, even though he struggled. So I think McIntyre sets up incredibly well here. Player I'm fading would be I'm not paying the price for Patrick Reed on DraftKings for me. I mean, if the rough is going to be so thick around the greens, I guess I can see how this could be a type of week where it would make sense. I just rather play Hatton Fitz, rather play Bryson and definitely Vic over Reed. So I'm going to be
Even
fading
M,
Reed.
right? You'd probably rather play M on this
Yeah, I
course.
mean,
On
and
this
you can go,
course.
you save like $1,000 doing that too. So,
On
um,
this course. Well, he's got two straight third places here or
yeah,
something.
yeah. So I would
He's
fade
really
Reed.
not being talked to. He's gonna win this week. I'm gonna be so mad because this should have been the double dip for the Honda Sky.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna win this, I think. And I
Gosh,
don't think enough. I'm not betting him. I don't think enough people are betting him. I think
yeah,
like a lot. He's sort of been a forgotten guy between Hatton and Fitz and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because he's sitting there 9,700, so he's $500 less than Reed. Just kind of sitting there because everyone's going to play Fitzy and everyone's going to play Hatton. Player I'm playing that you shouldn't. I mean, I guess it's probably Cameron Percy in the sense that I really, really, really like him.
For me, it's Ricky
And it's
Fowler.
yeah, that one makes sense too. But that would be kind of the rollout. I'm ready for Burns to just light it on fire again and
Yeah.
let's cash in as a community.
How are you expecting Paul Casey to play this week? Because I'm not betting him, and I'm expecting him to play fantastic. And
Yeah.
Mayo's got me hoping that he bottoms out so we can
Be
catch
in.
something next week. But I'm worried, man. This guy he could be on one right now. He's gonna catch something. He's gonna.
Oh no, I agree. I Dom, our co-part at
Yeah.
FTN, he was talking up Casey on our stream before this. You think about what he did over the last 3-4 tournaments, bouncing back and forth, excelling on the PGA Tour twice with 2 Sandwich European Tour
I
great
can't believe
performances.
I bet Fitzpatrick over him.
It was, I mean, the bandwagon for Fitzy saddled up early Monday morning and it just took off.
I'm never on it, but ever like it makes it all kind of points there. In the same, it's easy to say it after the fact, but in the same way, kind of like pointed for Hatton there here last
for sure. That's it's a
year. Like
perfect
just and I'm sold on the fact that Fitz has come off. Like this is the third, those were 2 quality fields, 2 quality events, 2 demanding courses, and he's played really well. And he's got 2 top 10s here. And this is a place where he really does do what he does well here, and he's found a way to do things he doesn't do well here. So I bet
Mhm.
I bid on Junior Boys section.
Did you see the
of Golf
pictures from
Galaxy.
today?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he was 12.
Yeah.
He was literally 12.
Yeah, I bid on the Golf Galaxy Junior Boys section
Yep.
winner
Yep.
here. Okay, Sky. Thank you, buddy.
Of course. Appreciate it always. Thanks
All
again,
the
Geoff.
best. I enjoy. I always time really does fly when chatting with you. So I appreciate that.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thank you to Sky for taking that time with me. He really is the best. There's a reason he's behind the wall. He's behind the wall. FTN bets, FTN daily. Promo code Bolt. Get behind the wall, see what him and Axis are up to on a weekly basis. Even more fun stuff going on behind that wall with baseball season here. Pretty much here, the baseball promo rocking out over at FTN as well. I am working hard to get my boy Matty Wood on straight out of LA, talk some baseball, get me excited about my Toronto Blue Jays. Baseball fantasy season is here. I love baseball. I'm horrible at fantasy baseball. It's honestly too hard for me. It's like two pools in one. Like the pitchers and the hit. Like I know baseball. I like baseball. But managing a fantasy team, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I'll hopefully next week we'll chat with Manny Wood, and hopefully you guys can take advantage of the amazing MLB promotions going on over at FTN daily.com. Prizepicks.com, promo code FTN, 100% instant match bonus up to $100. It is you versus the projection. I have made my round one power play for the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Justin Rose over 70.5, Paul Casey under 70.5. They got 12 golfers listed. I think there are some opportunities on that board to make some money. I'm looking forward to even on the weekend doing some multi-sport with some golf leading into the big fights at UFC. So I'm going to be doing one of those definitely throughout the weekend, trying to catch some soft numbers over at prizepicks.com. Take advantage. I believe there are 12 golfers listed. You can go over or under on their Sunday projections. And I would argue that there are some opportunities out there on these things. Like there's really no reason Sung J M and Ricky Fowler should have the same projection score. So you do with that sort of information as you may, guys. I am Geoff Fienberg. I am out. I will be back with you on Friday as hopefully the Bay Hill leaderboard is kind to us. Thank you, FTN Daily, for hosting me this evening. Thank you, prizepicks.com, promo code FTN. Again, 100% instant match bonus up to $100. And they've even got a Top Shot promotion going on right now. So you don't want to miss that. I'm out. Ooh.